Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and today we're going to be doing another episode of object competitions. But before we get onto today's video, guys, as always we need to go over the results of the previous competition, and that was the Halloween themed competition. So just looking at the votes here, it looks like Demonic grabbed the victory here, quite close in the end actually, so he got it with 17 votes. In second place, we also had Kerbal as well. And yeah, those guys obliterated the entire field. It wasn't even close. Those guys were just miles ahead of everyone else. So yeah, massive congrats to Demonic. So he took the win with his object here. So there it is there. And then which one was Kerbal's one? I think that was... yeah, this one here. The decorated one. That was really, really cool. So yeah, they were our top two. So yeah, massive congrats to both of those guys. But we have that all said and done. Moving on to today's competition. Okay everyone, so moving on to today's competition now, we are going to be doing a parent planet with a habitable moon competition, or it's known as the father-son object. So yeah, submit a habitable moon and its parent planet. So without further ado, let's see what you guys have prepared for us. So since this is slightly different, everyone submitted 2 objects this time, so I need to just search by their name, otherwise the names are all going to be mixed up in the menu. So if I just search, so first up we have got Phoenix. Let's go ahead and see what they have prepared for us here. Right. So we are looking for an object called Phoenix, which is that. So we've got a gas giant, okay. And then it also has a moon called Aqua, which is this object here. Let's go ahead and let's put that there. There you go. Cool. Right, Aqua. So there's habitable moon, parent planet. So this is Phoenix. It is a gas giant about 499 times more massive than Earth, with a system of moons that resembles a smaller version of the inner solar system. The planet itself orbits 0.9 AU from its parent star due to its highly reflective clouds. Its cloud top temperature is minus 89 degrees, with winds up to 1700 kilometers an hour screaming around the planet, giving the planet its orange and golden stripes. It also has a wide Saturn-like ring system despite having so many large moons. Add a ring around the planet, 96,000 to 222,000, so I want me to add some rings. So Saturn rings, open that up, kilometers, so we want 96,000. Down here we need 222,500 he actually put, so there you go, and voila, there you go. Cool. Right, so it also has one moon here to go with it as well. Okay, so it has a total of 60 moons, but I've decided to submit its largest moon and only habitable one, Aqua, which is this one here, with an extremely large submoon. So it also has a bunch of... he's basically just talking about a bunch of other moons as well, so we'll just skip through that because we're only looking at the main moons here. Aqua orbits at around 1,800,000 kilometers from Phoenix every 13 days. And then... oh god, mate. And then one of his other stars orbits Aqua at 42,000 every 1 day. Unlike most moons, Aqua is not tidally locked to Phoenix due to already being tidally locked to one of the other moons. So, okay, cool. So he did include the simulation, but yeah, we're not going to go into sims because there's so many objects we need to get through here. So, okay, cool. Right, so that is the first submission from Phoenix. Massive thank you to him for sending those in. So we'll just go ahead and put those two to one side there. So you've got planet and moon. Okay, right. Next up, we have got... so... actually, what I'll do as well is... because we're doing the voting slightly different this time. We're going to use a proper poll thing, as some people have requested. So what I'm going to do is, just so it looks even cooler, I will actually screenshot each submission so it will be a little picture of it when you vote for it. So there's the first submission from Phoenix. Cool. Okay. Actually, let me quickly... there we go. I'm just typing in the chat. Okay, cool. Right, anyways, moving on. Right, so next up we have got... so, if I go back to our submissions here. So we've done Phoenix. Yeah, massive thanks to Chris because he's going to help me set this up. So I'm just going to send him the images of all of these for the submissions. Cool. Let's just type into him there. Okay, next up we got School and Moth. Okay. So School and Moth, let's see what they have prepared for us here. Okay. Right, so. Aha! Right. So, these two here. So let's see what he has wrote down for us. Father and son objects. So we've got Astamoria and Cytus, I want to say. So here's the parent planet. So we'll go over here. And then its moon. Right there. Okay, so we've got two Rockies this time. No gas giants. So here we are. So here are the planet and its moon. So Habitable moon and its parent planet. Looking good. Okay, so lore time. These are part of an Exterior Proxima, a newborn star system located between the stars Mark and Polara. Again, although they're new, only 500 million years old, water is already present on each of their surfaces. During this time, the star system is going through a late heavy bombardment period, which has left scars on both worlds. Okay. On Astamoria, the seas are having a hard time turning into oceans. The world is quite massive and powerful volcanic activity from the young violet mantle is forcing the crust to fold and buckle. Because of the variations in elevation from canyons to mountain ranges, each spanning a quarter of the planet, the spread of oceans is being contained by force. The flow of nutrients and minerals between these seas is cut off by land or shallows, so despite having so much water, it is unlikely that life will develop, or if it does spread and evolve. On top of this, the planet might actually be too massive for an outer core to freely rotate, eliminating the possibility for a typical magnetic field. But on Cytus, which is the moon, things are different. Being much smaller, an outer core can and already is developing, and because of the lower gravity and less dense atmosphere, water is allowed to spread. Due to the tidal forces from the parent planet, the side of the moon facing the planet has a much thinner crust than the far side, so an ocean has taken residence. From the new weight on the thin crust, vital compounds are being ejected into the water through hydrothermal vents, forced to open by the pressure. Okay, interesting stuff. That's really, really cool. That is really, really nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so that is all of their one done. So that was School 'em Off, so massive thanks to those. They're pretty cool. Right, okay. And again, we'll get another screenshot of those to put in the voting, so we'll go ahead and grab both of those. Okay, right, next up we have got Chris himself. Right, let's see what he has prepared for us here. So, right, so we've got Haydn B, which is this object here. So moving on, so we'll go over here. Then it's also got its moon Inflictos. Oh no, hang on, so is that? Oh no, that isn't actually one. No, it's Haydn A and Haydn B. Oh, so is it a star? Okay. Oh, it's a brown dwarf. Okay, right. So we're going to place it there, and then there's its object there. So we'll go ahead and put it there. So we've never had anyone submit a star before in a competition. I think that's probably a first. So brown dwarf, and then there's its planet or moon, I should say. However you want to class it. Got a studio lighting, so there we go. We'll move the brown dwarf just out of the way because of the glow, so we'll just put it over there. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so here's this funky looking world. Okay, so for Chris, so Haydn B, inspire looks the best at any lighting, but directional lighting for some reason. Okay, we're on that. Yeah, that's cool. Preferably surface simulation to see the surface in its full glory. Yeah, it's looking very, very cool. Look at that, that's a rainbow effect going on. That's quite cool. Okay, so the Haydn AB system is 24.7 AU away from its main star, meaning that it's the main source of light and energy which feeds Haydn B, also known as Inspire. This has caused a big amount of plant life to grow in the darker colours to catch as much energy as it possibly can. However, these plants have masqueraded interesting features which are its flowers and seeds and given off small amounts of bioluminescent light, which is what you see here. Okay. In smaller colonies of these plants, it's pretty visible, and since there aren't any life forms roaming on this world, the plants can grow untouched. The only real animals that live here are small insects feeding off the nectar of the plants. Okay, cool. So, brown dwarf as your parent, and then here is your primary moon. So, that looks really cool. But look at the glow in the darker sort of areas there. That's really cool. So, if we actually go to realistic, you should be able to see behind it as well. So, there's a good look at it. There you are. What do you think of that? Nice. Looks like he's using one of Saturn's moon's textures, because they always have those weird sort of colours you can mess around with. So, pretty cool. Okay, so back to directional, which is what we're using. So, there you are. Okay, so there's both of those guys. So, we'll quickly just let's just move the star a little further back. Put that over there. Okay, so there's Chris's. Next up, we have got Minobat. So let's see what he is prepared for us here. So, right. So, we have got Shell World and Shell World Moon. So this is looking pretty wild. So Shell World Moon. There you go. Okay, so. Whoa, what is that? Now that is pretty extreme stuff. What is that? That's like a massive collision mark. Whoa, and there's his moon. Right, so these two, what's the story behind these? One of my favourite objects I've created so far, but also one of the hardest ones to make. All of this was made in game using planetscaping and lasers. No mods were used. Instructions: place the moon directly over the light spot at exactly 130... Oh my god, we're getting technical here. So place the moon over the light spot. So what, so like that, basically? So I don't know how far 113 is away. Let's try. We can try. Yeah, that's not going to work because we've got so many objects already here. We'll just have to sort of estimate how much 113 is from that. So, oh look, there's 100,000 there. So 113 would roughly be somewhere, I guess. So, oh no, never mind. So 100,000 kilometers. So that's one box is 100,000. So if I put that right on the edge, then 113 would roughly be here somewhere, I'd say, something like that. So then if you look around, so it has to cover like the exact light spot. So basically like that, something like that. I think that's what he wants us to do. Okay. Story. Many light years from many stars, there is a Uranus-like rogue ice giant with a few moons. They were all frozen because they were not orbiting the star. At one point, an alien civilization came along and dismantled all the moons except for the largest one, and used their resources to build a giant shell around the entire ice giant. On top of the shell, they made a giant fusion reactor that uses deuterium form the ice giant to produce light and focus it on the remaining moon. They used the light to heat and terraform the moon to something they could live on. The shell was made to rotate at the same speed as the moon orbits, so it always receives light. You can still see the light blue colour of the ice giant between the plates of the shell. Okay. Yeah, you can sort of see it. Yeah, alright. Pretty cool. And then there's that. That's like a light source to that. So, pretty cool stuff. Okay, very, very unique stuff. And no, that is a very interesting design. Okay. So there's Minobat's. Next up, we've got Kerbal's one. Right, okay. So, we've got this object here. Yep. And then this one. Okay, so place the gas giant first. Then the moon is here. Cool. So place them there. There you go. Okay. Right. Okay. So parent planet and moon. What have we got here? Oh, I need to take the screenshots of the objects, don't I? Let's go back. So there's Chris's one again. So that's pretty cool. And then that's the one we just did as well. So Minobat's one. So there you go. There. Okay. Next up. Yep, so Kerbal's one. So what have we got here? We can grab a screenshot of that as well. So there you are. Cool. Right, so what does he wrote down for us? These objects are located near Milky Way centre and are quite irradiated. Despite that, life emerged on Caesar, which is this object here. The most notably the giant, vaguely bird-like sapient creatures known as the Tabul. Mountains on the moon are smooth because I didn't want to spend too much time on planetscaping. Okay, but yeah, here it is. So here's the moon, and there's the apparent gas giant. So looking pretty cool. Nice. And there they are. There. Okay. Next up, we have got future cosmonauts object. So I didn't put his name in these. Okay, so let me just go type them in. So here's the first of the objects. It's another gas giant. Alrighty. And then we got Meron, which is this one here. Let's place that there. Okay. Cool. Alright. So there these guys are. Alright, so let's see what he's wrote down for this. So, Cruzo F orbits at roughly 6.4 astronomical units from its star, which is nearing the end of its life. Cruzo is somewhere around half of Jupiter's mass and has one large moon named Meron, which is the moon here. Okay. Its gargantuan size for a moon, 2 Earths, is thought to be the absorption of its neighbouring moons, named Zion and Mern, which collided about 62,000 years ago. The craters have begun to erode away but can still be seen on Meron's surface. It orbits Cruzo a little more than 300,000 kilometres, thus giving Meron a very elliptical shape. The stress from such close proximity causes volcanism. The magma erupting from stratovolcanoes can be seen on the dark side of Meron, as well as sending plumes of volcanic ash into the atmosphere, cloaking Meron in darkness from time to time. It also has oceans of toxic water which wouldn't be able to support life as we know it, as they are too salty and polluted with hazardous chemicals. This gives Meron's oceans a cloudy yellow colour. The same goes for the thick cloud layer, taking on the same hue, raining down the barren, inhospitable surface. So a very, very nasty world. So there you go. What do you think of that? So, that's a nasty, barren looking world. I mean, look at the design. That looks great. So there's clouds and then the atmosphere. So did he say there was like glows or something at night? Yeah, there they are. Hey, there you are. Looking good. Okay, so there you are. There is Meron and its parent planet over there, Cruzo. Nice looking gas giant design as well there. Cool. Okay, next up we got ND. So let's see what he has prepared for us. So here we are. So he's got a gas giant as well. A lot of gas giants today. Then there is his moon there. Alright, so that's an enormous gas giant. Okay, so look how many bands it has as well. That has loads of bands on it. Look at that. There's loads on there. Let's have a look. Oh, whoa! There you go. Right. So there's a lot of bands. Right. Okay, so what's the story behind these? So Zeus is a planet 702,000 kilometers in radius, similar to our sun. So that is an enormous monster of a planet. Its mass is 1.03 suns, but its composition did not allow it to become a star. There are so much heavy elements in its core. The nuclear fusion cannot start. So that thing is gigantuous, okay. And therefore it is a planet despite its mass. The planet has a very powerful magnetic field, more than 40 times as powerful as Jupiter's, which can protect its moon from any flares from its star. The planet is in a binary orbit with a sun-like star within the habitable zone. Its core is mainly composed of molten iron and nickel, which is heated by the pressure coming from the planet's enormous mass. The amount of bands was too much to do in game. I made the first 55 bands in game, and I duplicated them multiple times. Looking good. Very, very nice. And then the moon is an Earth-sized moon orbiting Zeus at the distance of 0.01 AU. There is an advanced civilization living on this moon. As you can tell, the city lights are on the moon's dark side. So if I have a little look around. There they are, yeah, you can see them, okay. It's quite ocean heavy as well. Okay. So the magnetic field of the parent planet protected the moon from solar flares as the star flares up very often. The star once released a flare about 1,000,000 times more powerful than the strongest flare ever recorded from the sun, but the parent planet's magnetic field protected it, and no damage was done. Standing on the planet gives a gorgeous view of the parent planet. The parent planet itself almost takes half the sky of the moon. Tellus is Latin for Earth. It was named after the planet has 100% Earth similarity. Yay, very nice. Let's have a little look. There you go, 100%. So very, very similar. So it's got all the conditions you could possibly want. And then there's that massive view. So we've got a little look of our view here. So yeah, see that in the sky. That is an enormous view. Look at that. It's an enormous gas giant. It looks great. Very, very nicely designed gas giant there. Do you like that? It's a good looking object, that is. So that's a huge thing. Look how big it is compared to everything else. So massive stuff. So put those guys together there. Okay, next up we have got. So we've got Emerald Neo next. So okay. So we've got a Neptune looking object here. And then I think that's the moon there. Right, so okay, so moon and planet again. Drag it a little closer, why not? There you are, okay. So what do we got here? Right, so the type parent planet and habitable moon of Terran on Enzo orbit around the sun-like star Paxiapoma at a distance of 4.62 AU. Terran is a blue ice giant with ammonia clouds and a mass of 28 Earths. The planet is also oblate to a notable degree. Its rotational period is only 4.4 hours. The planet's large Saturn-like icy ring, which stretches from 48,000 to 60,000. Okay, so let's have a little ring. Need a ring, so give me the numbers we need. So he's 1.9 object radius to 2.37 radius. So there you are. Very nice indeed. There you go. There's a better look at them. Get a screenshot of it, the ring. There you go. So the ring consists of thousands of icy particles in the superbly. The moon Enzo orbits in a circular orbit around 100,000 kilometers above Terran and suggests frigid shallow oceans while being so far from its star. Leading scientists to conclude that surface liquid could not be water. Unknown to them, however, similar multicellular organisms and faint bioluminescent moss reside on the surface. Nice. Cool. There's the lights behind it. Excellent stuff. Okay, there you go. So there's Emerald Neo's objects. Next up, we've got Nikov Bean. So let's see what they're prepared for us here. Okay, right. So we've got another gas giant here. So everyone's gone for the gas giant parent for the most part. So there you go. Okay, so next up we've got these guys over here. Oh, very, very nice looking object. How bright it is. Okay. Very, very luminescent sort of glow to it. I'm liking it. Very, very fresh looking. Oh, very cloudy. Very, very bright clouds. Must have some modern going on here. Okay. So, what was the story behind this one? So, hello. Here follows my object for the competition warning. Particularly long description. I'd recommend downloading the file. Okay, so we have a file to download. So let me open that. So, okay, so this is the second and last submission as well, right? Okay, let's see what we've got here. Let's open this. Okay, so what is this? Okay, not too much of a description. Okay, this is the following description to the competition. So enter log, entry, class 3, archive, simulation, objects, liquestrine and derus. State of sim approximately 4 billion years ago. Open information. The simulation process is interaction between both objects liquestrine and derus approximately 4 billion years ago. Object liquestrine is detailed as a full ammonia gas giant with a bigger mass and radius than Jupiter, causing it to have extreme effects on its moon. Okay. Increasing their storms and class 8 hurricanes. The gases present on the gas giant are sulfuric acid, ammonia, iron, carbon dioxide and other not specified. And then object Derus, which is the moon, is likely to be an Earth-like planet with a habitable atmosphere containing mostly water, vapour and oxygen. The other gases that heat up the planet. The planet is extremely far away from its parent star, so heat is absorbed by the extreme amount of greenhouse on both atmosphere and surface composition. Oh, where are we? I've just lost it. It's in a notepad file. I have to keep scrolling left and right. Okay. Object contains a great amount of vegetation. Those are composed of huge trees, mostly 3 times bigger than trees on the Earth, and also seem to have properties that absorb heat coming from space, as mentioned above. According to Data Rover, anomalies found on the surface tell that extremely odd buildings once died across the land, have a mediocre and primal source of light. Creatures that lived on the planet could not be simulated due to being a Class V axis. The planet is extremely affected by the huge bursts of mass present on the orbital parent. Huge storms are frequent, that's why tall buildings on the planet have no sources of glass, or transparent materials. Image Rover delivered a beautiful image of what could be the landscape from Deus in the past. The light reflected from the gas giant particularly illuminated the planet, making the night side 38% brighter than the nights on the homeland. Okay. Nice. Okay, cool. End of log. Okay, so that is it. Right, so that's the story between these guys. Okay, cool. Okay, very, very bright looking object there. It's cool. And then lastly, so that's Nikov Bean's done. So we have Demunix, last object here. So let's see what he has prepared for us here. So we have got this object here. So Polymethus. Polymethus, so it's another gas object, and then it has the moon of Pandora. Okay, there you go. So, okay. So, both of those guys. Alrighty, so get a nice shot of those as well. Okay, so what is going on here? Right. So, description says, so Polymethus is a colourful blue temperate Saturn-sized gas ice giant orbiting the habitable zone of its near sun-like star Alpha Centauri A. So, around Polymethus there are many moons, one of which is Pandora, a slightly smaller than Earth, habitable Earth-like planet that is very diverse, colourful and complex organic life, including a highly intelligent humanoid species. So, if you didn't know, this is based off Avatar. The surface of Pandora is covered in expansive deep oceans of liquid water and continents covered in very dense green vegetation anywhere you go. Essentially, Pandora is a jungle planet. So yeah, that's the basics of it. I could not find any information on how far exactly Pandora orbits in Polymethus, so feel free to put it anywhere you want, but in general pretty close. The gas giant looks kind of low in texture resolution, but Pandora looks better in high texture resolution. It does look good, you can really see the detail on it, so looking very, very nice indeed. Okay. Cool. Alright, there we are, and then that does it for the Parent Planet Habitable Moon Object Competition. So what do you guys think of that? This is going to be one of the most wild ones ever, having 2 objects per person. It does make it a little more complicated, but let's just get it all lined up. There's our lineup of stuff. So what do you think of all that? Look how big this thing is. 1 sun radius gas giant. I mean, come on. It's huge. So there you go. So we'll lower that down. It's bigger than the brown dwarf as well. Let's quickly just... There, that's better. There you go. Sort of fit it in with everyone else. So there's our lineup. So the moons. Then you got the planets over there. So, looking good. But yeah, there we are, guys. So that does it for this object competition. So if you like this one, then make sure to hit that like button. And also, if you'd like to take part in the voting, there'll be a link in the description to where you can vote this time. As we're changing the way we can vote stuff, we're probably going to do it on a straw poll or something. So yeah, I'll put a link to that down below in the description and the comments. So if you want to take part in the voting, now everyone in the YouTube comments can take part in the voting as well. So what do you think of that? Should be pretty awesome stuff. But yeah, guys, so that all said and done, massive thank you to everyone who participated in this competition. Good luck to everyone, and I'll see you in the next competition video, guys. Goodbye.